I'm on the phone. This isn't professional malicious compliance, but I do get a dangerous case of smug every time I reflect back on this, which is often. Most days, weather permitting, myself and my floof will head to the local dog park at about the same time. Yes, I am aware dog parks have a lot of risk associated. I'm very careful. My floof less so, but I have thumbs so he has to listen. As we're usually there around the same time every day, I recognize most of the dogs and their parents. Fairly frequently new friends show up and everyone gets to know each other. It's a good time. A lot of social norms, for New England anyway, are relaxed, so it's not really weird to wind up talking to strangers. And as a rule, if someone you don't know is trying to get your attention, odds are you should probably see what they have to say before dropping the hammer. One morning in particular, a dog is engaging in a thankfully more rare form of icky things dogs do sometimes, which was finding a nice fresh dump on the ground and promptly rolling around in it. I pick up my dog's plop-plops when he drops them. Other people are less conscientious. Now, I don't recognize the floof that's vigorously applying dog cologne, but that's no problem. One unknown dog, one unknown Karen. Having rescued a dog previously who was a notorious pooperoller, I decided Karen might like a heads-up, since she's talking on a cell phone not watching her dog, and nobody wants to be in an enclosed space with a diarrhea diver. I mosey over and wave and say, "Excuse me," and Karen pivots to look at me, covers the bottom of her smartphone, and hisses, "I'm on the phone." Well then, my mistake. I mosey back over to the group of people I know, and now we are all watching Karen's dog find 5 further fresh piles of feces to frolic in. Eventually, Karen gets off a super important phone call and summons her dog to leave, and right after she attaches the leash she shouts, "Oh, why didn't anyone tell me he was rolling in shit?" I raise my hand and wave and say something to the effect of, "Hey ma'am, yeah, hi, you were on the phone." She turns beet red and makes hasty tracks to her car. Hasn't been back since. Don't know why. Her dog was awesome. Edit. Alliteration. Second edit. I did not know what the dogger tax was. Here is delayed payment. Please no dogger IRS.
A screen shop server tells me that I can't buy a gallon of ice cream. This happened a while ago. The free donut story reminded me of this. I was going to a family event and stopped at a local farm fresh ice cream shop on my way there. My BF gets out to get a gallon of ice cream. He comes back all exasperated, telling me that the girl at the counter won't sell him a gallon of ice cream. I get out of the car and go up to the window and ask for a gallon of ice cream. A screen shop server, we can't sell you a gallon of that flavor. May, are you out of that flavor? A screen shop server, no, we just don't sell it in a gallon. It doesn't matter what size the container is in, I just want to purchase a gallon of it. A screen shop server, we can't sell you a gallon. Okay, we'll have to half gallons. A screen shop server, we can't sell you a half gallon. Me getting frustrated. What size container do you sell this flavor in? A screen shop server, we have it in a quart, pint, cup, or cone. Me great, I would like 4 quarts, please. A screen shop server hand packs 4 quarts, puts them on the counter with snark and ignorance. You can't just buy a gallon of any flavor, and we only have half gallons of vanilla and chocolate. Me blank stare, 4 quarts is a gallon. A screen shop server, confused look, really? Me, yeah, the pints are a quart, 4 quarts are a gallon. A screen shop server takes my money, then goes to talk to another server. I don't even want to know that conversation. My bad for not explaining U.S. liquid measures. A cup is 8 fluid ounces. A pint is 16 fluid ounces. A quart is 30 fluid ounces. A half gallon is 60 for fluid ounces. A gallon is 128 fluid ounces. Also, this was a large dairy farm, but the sign isn't like a menu. First there's a list of standard flavors, then handwritten are the seasonal and special flavors, followed by a list of prices. I think that the half-gallon price says when available and brick-packed, all other sizes are hand-packed. There's not a limit to how much a person can buy, and I've seen people order insanely large amounts. It wasn't busy when I ordered, and I told her to take her time, emphasizing that I was not in a hurry as I realized that hand-packing takes a while. At this particular place, they prided themselves on really packing a lot into a container, so it was totally worth buying 4 quarts. I would have ordered it that way if I had known it would be an issue for her. I wasn't looking for special treatment, just a gallon of awesome ice cream for a gathering of people pre-COVID.
You've not ordered the offer anymore, so there's nothing we can do. Before the pandemic, my significant other and I were doing some shopping and decided to eat it at a Harvester, a large chain here in the UK. It's reasonable food at the cheaper end of the scale, and okay when you're not looking for a posh dining experience or anything. There was a daytime soft drink, salad bar buffet, main course and dessert offer on which came to £30 for 2 people, a bargain which we ordered. The food turned out to be pretty good. We made more than one trip to the buffet, and suffice to say by the time we'd finished our main courses we didn't feel we needed the dessert. So I instead asked the server for the bill. The bill arrives and we have been charged an additional £9 for £39 in total. I query this with the server. Server, that offer's only valid with desserts, and you said you didn't want desserts anymore. We intended to have the desserts, but we're too full for them now, so we don't want them. But I didn't expect we would be charged more. Server, well, you've not ordered the offer anymore, so there's nothing we can do. Cue the malicious compliance you can see coming by now. Well then I'd like to order 2 desserts, please. You can bring them over. We won't eat them, and you can get the £9 knocked off the bill for us. At this point the server looks at me with a bewildered look and says she'll get the manager. My other half, who is more of a shrinking violet in these situations, is looking a little uncomfortable. A few moments later the manager comes over and asks why we don't want to pay. I explain that I do, but I don't expect to pay more for saving waste. But by all means to bring over the desserts, and we will leave them there on the table when we leave. Comprehending this, she agrees to just charge us for the meal deal. Edit Jesus Christ Reddit. I get it, you would have requested the desserts to be boxed up and taken them home for later. The only dessert with the meal deal was ice cream. And regardless, we wouldn't have wanted to carry boxed up food around with us for the rest of the day.
Just hit my car and we're even okay. This one is short and sweet. I went to the grocery store, and after buying all my stuff I went to the parking lot. As I was getting close to my car, another one parked next to mine and opened the door wide open, hitting my car. "Hey, you just hit my car." The a-hole just turned around and said, "Just hit my car and we're even okay," and walked away. Luckily, there was a security guard nearby, and I asked him if he witnessed what the guy said. The security guard just said "Yeepaw" and turned away. He knew what was coming. So I pretty much gathered all my strength and kicked his door so hard with the bottom of my foot and left a huge dent across all his driver door. Just got into my car and left. I never had a citation, ticket, or got contacted due to that.
Basketball Scrooge. For months, every time I visit my friend in a rather nice neighborhood, I've seen this car on an empty street with a basketball hoop in the trunk. I mean, the hoop is mounted in the trunk lid removed, and is standing vertically at regulation height. Yesterday, I finally asked him the story. A local dad had put up a basketball hoop on the street. It's an undeveloped dead-end street, so his kids could shoot some hoops safely, since there was zero traffic on this road. At the end of the dead end is a fence bordering a trailer park. The man in the trailer on the other side of the fence reported it, and the police had to get the dad to take it down. Anyway, that this guy was preventing his kids from playing basketball. The dad bought a car for a few $100s and had the shop down the road while the basketball hoop into the trunk. There aren't any parking rules for that street, except a vehicle can't remain in one place for more than 14 days. So every 14 days, the dad moves the car to the other side of the street. Many folks in the neighborhood now come to shoot hoops nightly. The police have left a handful of towing notices on the car, but have since stopped responding to complaints about its presence. So it seems the basketball car is here to stay. Photos of the hoop. Edit, holy shit, this blew up. Edit 2, car still runs barely, and there's a mechanic gas station across the street if needed.
No, I'm checking your heart. I was a medic in Salt Lake for a few years. One rainy day, My partner and I got dispatched to a fairly upscale neighborhood on a call of chest pain. Chest pain means flashing lights and sirens. We quickly arrive in front of a pretty nice house and find a woman standing at the curb with the suitcases packed, already red flag. I shut down the siren but kept the lights going for safety. We ask if she called 911 and she confirms. She steps into the ambulance, sits on the bench, and asks us to get going. I tell her we need to do a full workup before we leave, so we can provide care en route and take her to the right facility. She says she doesn't really have chest pain. She has a procedure scheduled at the hospital, and she wants me to turn off the flashing lights so her neighbors don't notice and ask her questions. Obviously, this is EMS abuse, and I tell her so. Suddenly, her chest pain is back, so I say I need to get vitals and start an ECG. She protests again, mentioning the start time for her appointment in less than 30 minutes, and so I ask her point blank, "Do you need medical attention or do we need the police?" I proceeded to do a full workup in front of her house, taking my sweet-ass time, asking enough questions to make her eyes roll, and leaving the strobe lights on the whole time so the neighbors would see. And she was late to her appointment because we admitted her to the hospital through the ER instead of the front doors.
Did you recognize all of the voices? Leave your guesses in the comments.